seemed so perfect. What the hell was I thinking? We were almost over the edge, but you pulled it back instead. Snapped it back, stopped the track, played on my rhythm, hate that. Pulled my strings, said some things that made my heart sing. Snapped it back, stopped the track, played on my rhythm, hate that. Played on my rhythm, hate that.
Hello everyone. Today we have a very special guest with us, the founder of The Bolt, Amanda Ferradino.
Hello, thank you for letting me return.
So welcome back. So I hear over the past year that you came out with a whole bunch of new music. So just tell us a little bit about how you got into the whole music industry and making that.
Yeah, sure. So, since I was so young, I've always been into music. I've played guitar and piano since I was around 8, 9 years old. And I've always tried making my own music and singing and coming up with lyrics. And, I didn't at the time growing up take it seriously as far as a career because, I was always embedded in, going to college and finding a career path and whatever. So I put it on the back burner for a little bit, which had me very depressed. But I finally found my entryway into doing it seriously. And I took it off from there. And I just haven't stopped since. I've been so happy doing it.
Okay, so what is your favorite part? What do you enjoy most about making music?
My favorite part about making music is the opportunity to move people. I love when my lyrics are relatable to everybody else and people come up to me like, oh my God, that song is my mood right now. I am going through something that I totally relate to it. And to me, that's the biggest accomplishment to have is just being able to have people relate to your lyrics. And even if they don't relate to it completely, but sharing your story and letting people come into your life and kind of come into your emotions. And I think that's awesome. And I used to act in high school and stuff and do theater. And it all comes from the same love of having people be connected with your emotions and inviting them into your space. I think it's very personable and it's very special.
So what are some of your biggest musical role models?
My biggest musical role models. One I have to say is Russ. I don't know if you know him. He is a rapper. Not just rapper, but he sings too. He's R&B kind of guy too. His voice is really, really great. But more importantly, he's a lyrical genius. But even more importantly than that, if you watch his interviews and stuff, he's just so educated and knowledgeable about the industry and will tell it how it is, where a lot of industry people won't say it like that because of money reasons or other things like that. But this guy knows what he's talking about, and he is the new generation of music, and I appreciate that. And as far as creativity, I really do love Billie Eilish. I've loved her since Ocean Eyes, before everybody loved her. I like to trends before they happen. So I like when Billie Eilish first came out and no one knew her, and her and her brother Phineas and their music making process is insane. So I like them a lot.
Okay, so what accomplishment are you most proud of so far?
I am really proud of my music video for my song Deja Vu, because Deja Vu is, as of right now, still my favorite song that I've put out. Even though my new song came out today, I still love Deja Vu so much because I think it invites people into my emotions so much, and people could really feel it through the song. And so being able to put that into a music video and letting people now visually see it, I thought it was so cool, and I had so much fun doing it, and brought some of my acting skills into that to get all emotional and stuff. So that was really, really fun.
So did you face any obstacles along the way of making your music, and how did you overcome that?
I don't think this is an obstacle, but something that writers have to face, me and a lot of other writers every day, is to be vulnerable. I say this a lot when people ask me this question, is when you're a writer, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be able to share your deepest, darkest secrets and your fears and confront them and write about them because people respect you more. And, a lot of, songwriters, the good ones, at least, they overcome this, but, some people are afraid of other people listening to your song and judging you because of what you've said or how you felt about something. All of my songs reflected something that I've been through or have experienced. And then, of course, I manipulate them to make them more interesting a little bit. But all these songs have some meaning to me. you know? So, you know, in order to be, I feel like, a good writer, you need to be vulnerable and be able to express all these things that you've gone through and overcome and not give a damn what anybody thinks. So constantly an obstacle when writing is, you know, always saying like, I'm going to put this in my song and because this is genuine, this is true, this is who I am.
Awesome. So one thing I was wondering is, what advice can you give to someone that maybe is like too afraid to follow their dreams?
I think you just need to go for it. And I know this sounds super cliched, but you're young ones. And especially now I'm going to be 24 in a couple months, and watching my life already halfway through my 20s almost is kind of crazy. I think people need to stop thinking about, you know, that it's unreachable, unattainable. I mean, clearly other people have done it. Nobody's no different. You know what I mean? I think you just need to go for it. And I've listened to a speech by Denzel Washington, and something he said really, you know, caught my attention. It's if you don't fail a lot of times, that means you didn't try hard enough. So if you didn't take a big fall, you didn't try hard enough. So in order to get where you want to go, you need to fail. You need to make these mistakes, and you need to fall hard. Because if you don't fall hard, like I said, you're definitely not trying as hard as you should be. So be bold, make mistakes, get turned down. That's great. Just know you're one step closer to getting where you have to go. And don't let any other people tell you. I think another thing that I live by when it comes to this is I've always refused to be that person, you know, on my deathbed at 120. At 120 on your deathbed, and you're sitting there, and I don't want to be that person telling my grandkids, like, follow your dreams, never let anyone stop you because I wish I did. No, I'm not going to say that, because if I do music now and just say it blew up, God bless. But even if it didn't, it's something that makes me happy, and I do it, like I said, because it makes me happy, and I know I tried. It's something that I'm passionate about. So, you know, always go for the dream, and don't look back. Try. At least you could say that you tried. If you didn't try, who wants to, you know, be 110 and be like, I didn't even try? That's sad. To me, that's sad. Some people might not mind it. I think it's sad. I think you should always try to go for what you want.
Yeah, that's amazing advice. So now I want to get more into your music specifically. So the first question I want to ask you is, what were some of the inspirations to the songs that came out this year?
Phase Me is just about two people who've done me extremely wrong. And, you know, I was kind of frustrated by it, but I believe everything happens for a reason. And I'm so glad that it happened, because it jump-started my music career, and I feel so blessed for it. So I think that song for me, Phase Me, stands for, this is how you turn something negative into a positive. I took a negative situation that I was so confused about, and I turned it into something positive that touched so many people, and it's got thousands of streams on Spotify within the first couple of weeks. And I was like, damn, like, who am I to be like sad about something like this when it has blessed my life so much? So that's the message behind Phase Me. Deja Vu, Deja Vu is kind of funny because, and by the way, none of my songs are about anybody, because sometimes that's used loosely. Like all my songs that I've written, including the one that came out today, Snapped It Back, they're all inspired by things I've experienced, but they're about nobody. I use situations and I turn them into lyrics, and that's how I get my music. Because some people are like, oh, this song's about this person and this song's about this person. Nah, no, it's not. Don't get yourself flattered. Just saying. Because I've had people come up to me and ask me, and no, it's not about nobody. It's inspired by, you know, does that make sense? It's inspired by people, but it's not about people. You know what I mean? Okay, let's just get that out there. Anyways, so Deja Vu, I was walking with my boss outside of, so my boss at the studio that I work at, I'm manager there. We went food shopping late at night for the studio, and we were leaving Stop and Shop, I don't know, one of those markets, whatever. And we left the store, and we saw this white Honda Accord sitting outside of Stop and Shop. And she's like, ugh, I really don't want to see that car because it reminds me of someone that I don't want to think about. And I was like, yeah, when I see a certain car too, like an ex-boyfriend's car. Like, I want to vomit. Like, gross. Like, back in the day. And I was like, yeah, I really hate that kind of deja vu. I wish it would just leave me alone. And she's like, that's a great line. Like, go write a song about that line. I was like, okay. So that's the main line in the song. And so basically deja vu is just the feeling of, like, when you see an object or a person or a place, it just brings back these memories. And in this case, it's something that you don't want to remember. But deja vu could be a good thing, too. But in this song, it's something bad. So, you know, when you see a car or an object or a place or a person, it's like, damn, like, deja vu, you know what the thing about deja vu is? It's involuntary. So, like, memories, you could be like, all right, I don't want to think about it, and you'll put it out of your head. But deja vu, you don't have a choice, bruh. It just comes on to you, and it sucks. So that's what I wanted to write the song about. It's just, like, feeling these things that you don't want to feel, but you have no choice. And then Snapped It Back is a situation about somebody who kind of leads somebody on, and then, you know, last second they snapped it back and they pulled it back. I had a situation like that, and I pulled out details from it and kind of like threw it into the song so that, you know, it has a story behind it. But the main general idea, like, what should we call it? Plot of the song is that somebody leads somebody on and then snaps it back. So I love finding all my inspiration in my daily life, my daily situations, experiences, and yeah, all good stuff, all good lessons.
Yeah, so one thing we saw on your website is that you mentioned that you were played on the radio before. So can you tell us a little bit about, like, what that experience was like your reaction?
Yeah, a few different channels. Not mainstream radio because, I mean, that's like, you know, big corporations, they have like contracts and stuff, but that was awesome. It was really, really cool experience. It was like something that I've never had before. I mean, it was just, I was like taken back. Like, it was just like a really cool, let it sink in kind of moment. Pray for more of those, but yeah, that were really, really cool.
Yeah, so we're looking at your cover albums, and we noticed that, like, each of your singles has their own unique cover, so we're kind of wondering what the inspiration behind each of those things were.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start with Phase Me. Phase Me, the situation that I was into was one person went behind my back, and the other person believed it. So to me, that was, like, really sneaky and, like, snaky of a person. So, yeah. I'm a queen, so
yeah,
I put the crown on my head. Yeah, so, well, in the song I mentioned that the person's a snake lying in the grass, so that was a line. So it's like, of course, I have to put a snake on the cover. So I put a crown on my head, queen, and yeah, I held a snake and dominating that snake. But, you know, it was just more of like the cover's supposed to be like a powerful, like, it was like a powerful stature for me because, you know, I pulled the inspiration from a song from something that actually happened to me. So doing that cover just felt like extremely powerful for me. And it kind of like, every time I write a song, I kind of like take a situation that I've been through and I kind of go, gone, poof, because now it's out there and it's like off my chest. So that was what I did, and that was with the cover. So yes, that was inspiration for that cover. And yo, that snake, everybody think that snake got photoshopped in. That snake was a model. R.I.P. the Doris snake. She just passed away recently. But how good was that snake, bro? You saw her?
Yeah, looked really real.
She was modeling.
Yeah.
She was real.
Yeah.
She was modeling. She literally looked dead at the camera. So we saw that we took like 500 shots, and we didn't even need to go through them. We were like, that's the one. I mean, I don't even model that good. Like, the snake, I don't know. Anyways, Deja Vu. I had the black thing on my head, like looked like a do-rag. What was it? Like a satin head. I don't know. It was a satin, like, headpiece. And that black piece was just, like, darkness. And it was just kind of symbolized, like, the depression that came with these sad memories or sad thoughts. The blue tears is because you can't see clear tears. So I was like, what else is a sad color? Blue. And then the smoke was just the memories. Like, the smoke of that picture represented all the memories that kind of float around your head when you get deja vu. Like, that just, you can't clear smoke. You know what I mean? Like, as much as you try to shoot away, it kind of just So that's where I came up for that idea. What I like about you is a cover I did. I just drew like a little picture of myself because it's not my song. It's Jonas Blue's song and Teresa Rex, so I didn't want to like get too creative because it's not my song, you know. And Snapped It Back, which came out today, I had a whole different cover idea, but the cover idea was gonna be like way too like personable, like really represent like the inspiration I got the song from. So I was like, can't do that because the song's not about the situation. It was inspired by it, but it's not about it. So I was like, how sick would it be to like just get a jacket with Snapped It Back on it? I don't know. I was like on a rooftop in the middle of New York City. I was like, that'd be sick. So I did it. I made it work. Shout out to Stephanie's Creativity Corner for making it. Gotta shout her out. But yeah, that was that.
Yeah, so we saw on your website that you have a new album coming out soon called Tides. So we were wondering what your experience was working on that.
Oh, so Tides is cool. Tides, I was on a trip to Miami this summer, and while I was there, I was reached out by Nick Dyron. I hope I'm saying his name right. He's from Germany, and our birthdays are actually like a day apart. Because when I signed our split sheet, I saw his birthday, so I was like, "Oh my God, so cool!" He reached out to me, and he had a really dope track. And said he really liked, you know, my style, my vocals, and asked if I would be a part of it. And I was like, hell yeah, because I have the biggest love for EDM. Like, even though my stuff is kind of pop, I love chill, lo-fi, like EDM, like Deja Vu kind of stuff. Alina Perez, Billie Eilish, original Billie Eilish, like Ocean Eyes. Like, I love that kind of stuff. And, like, Jonas Blue. So I love EDM. So I was like, yes, EDM track, I'm on it. Let's do it. So, you know, we had like a 6-hour time difference because he's in Germany, I'm here. And we did a few Skype phone calls, and I literally counted. We have over 160 emails back and forth on lyrics, on whatever. And we did this song. We came up with like 2 different sets of lyrics, and once I finally got ones that fit the mood of the song, we went along with those. And it's such a cool thing to be part of, like to work with somebody across the globe and to get it done efficiently. And the song's picked up by Nightcap Records, which is really cool, a little boutique label out in Europe. And that's like, it was really cool to be a part of, and that comes out next Friday, and I'm really excited because it's my first collab and dance track.
Yeah. So can you disclose any future projects that might be coming up?
Yeah, so I just finished recording a cover of Too Much to Ask. And I'm really excited about that. It's a very simple piano track, and I have a guitarist doing the guitar for it too, which I still have to layer over it, but it's going to sound very pretty because it's very acoustic. It's very, you know, stripped down version, like a female version. I change it up a little bit to make it for a girl's voice. So it's going to be really cool. What else? I have another collab coming out that I'm still working on with Anthony DeRoss. He's another great singer. I have another song that I'm working on with the songwriter from California. Her name is Jess Hudak. She's really, really talented. She actually was on Bravo's TV show. This is embarrassing. I forgot the name of it. But it was a show for songwriters, and she came, I think, in second place. She was absolutely great. So she's out in Cali, so I FaceTime her once a week, and we'll be finished with the song on Saturday. And also right now I'm writing a song about my late father. And I don't want to disclose too much because that's gonna be a huge project, and I'm planning on doing a music video and stuff for it. So I want it to be like a big, you know, I want it to explode for everybody in like a good way. So, but yeah, those are a lot of things going on.
Yeah, so like what kind of genres would you like to explore in the future?
I would love to hit on like every genre possible, like maybe not on fully, but like add a little bit into each song, like each genre in each song. Because I grew up listening to, like, I didn't know it was on modern day radio until I think I was like 14 years old, because I grew up listening to what my parents listened to, but it made me so well-rounded. Like, I'm a huge Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons girl, in love with Frank Sinatra, like, and the 70s, and like Michael Jackson, like Jackson 5, like, love all that stuff. And I love country music too. I used to hate country music, but I'm obsessed with country music now. So I want to include all these kind of genres and sounds into my songs and appreciate all types of music and hopefully get new audience by doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now I kind of want to move away from your music and kind of discuss more about your experience here at St. John's with the Bolt. So I know that you were the founder of the Bolt. So how did that really come about to be?
So I used to drum at the Queens campus at St. John's, and I did that for like a semester. And I moved out because me personally, being in a dorm room was very hard because I enjoyed so many things that required me to not be in my dorm room. Like, I tried bringing my guitar up there, tried bringing a little keyboard, but I didn't want to be rude to my roommates. So, and I love to paint, I love to draw, I love to be creative, and I can't do that dorming, really. And I'd probably get like a shut up, from like down the hall, but whatever. So I moved home after one semester. I came here, and it just, looking around the campus, it was kind of sad because a lot of the creative students, like all of us, we didn't have an outlet to express like what we like to do, and just taking classes isn't going to cut it. And a lot of internships, you need to be at least a junior to get an internship in the city, but I felt like this should be something that you could put on your resume and get experience from, like, has to be. So I met Dr. Gray, who is still an adjunct professor here, right? I believe, teaching one class. She was the dean at the time, and I went up to her and I was like, listen, like, we got to do something. She's like, well, if you could come up with it, I guess. She's like, I have too much on my plate right now, but I was like, I'm on it. You said that to the wrong girl, because this girl will go for it and go 100 times harder. So I went for it, and over the summer, I planned this entire thing. I came up with, like, the objectives of it, what we needed, the budget, what it's going to include, what kind of positions we needed, and I was, like, thinking of a name. It's like, damn, this, like, the storm, like, we already have, like, the torches of paper, the red stormers are met, like, what do you name it? I came up with the Bolt, obviously, because it's the Thunderbolt, Johnny Thunderbird. So I came up with the name, and I brought it to Dr. O'Keefe. I went right up to his office. Little ballsy girl I am. Am I allowed to say that on here? I don't know. But I went right up to his office, and I said, listen, I have this plan. And so Dr. Gray loved it, and we were just trying to get a budget because this room, before it looked like this beautiful masterpiece, it was like analog. Like, it was not digital. It still had the little, what do you call those? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like
old.
It looked like
Very outdated.
Extremely outdated. Let's leave it like that.
Yeah.
Very outdated, and it barely had working equipment. Like, it still had record players. It's still like, listen, I have a record player that I just bought like in the last couple of years because it's like, it's coming back. It's cool. But that wasn't there because it was cool. It was there because it was outdated, So I was like, damn, like, we can't even play the music here. I was like, nah, this can't be. So over that next summer, they came in here and gutted it out, and they put this beautiful setup here for us, and I was so happy, and I got a bunch of students together, and I went before student government, and here we are, the Bolt.
Like, what kind of projects did you guys work on during your time here at the Bolt, and, like, what were some of your most memorable projects?
We did a lot of stuff on campus, so like a lot of the normal stuff that you see. But one of the cool things that they let us do was, because, it's hard. Queens is like, St. John's Queens is like the St. John's. So, like, they kind of forget about us. But once a year they have us, not football, but the basketball players. I don't even know what teams that's sort of. The basketball players come here in the fall. What is it called?
Red Storm?
I
Basketball, Red Storm.
I don't know. But they have the players come here and they do like a dance or two. I don't know. They start throwing the basketball around. And so anyways, it's like a big event here though. And the Bolt went and interviewed some of the players and the coach. And, we got recognized for doing that, which was cool because, again, they don't really, pay attention to Staten Island that much. I mean, Queens is a big campus. They have a lot going on. So, perspective. All right. But the fact that we got recognized for it is incredible and great.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but, like, on our on the St. John's Instagram the other day, they gave us a shout-out for National Podcast Day.
I saw.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I
was, like, freaking out. I was, like, so excited.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So one more question I want to ask you is like, what was your experience here, like as a St. John's student, like working with the Bolts, studying communications, and like what is some advice you give to like a current like communications or TV film student?
Okay, so my advice here is like counter school, not counter school, in the sense where I was never on campus besides the Bolt. Like I went to class and I darted out. I was not part of Greek life. I didn't do any other activity here besides running the Bolt. I was in school and I was out because I was going into the field. All right, so like people who were education majors or finance, they could chill out after class. Like, okay, cool. Like, join Greek life. Go hang out with your friends. This girl right here was way too busy. I barely went out. You didn't see me out really Friday or Saturday nights. I don't regret it one bit. I barely did anything besides go to class and go get internships. If you're a comm major, you need to go get internships. I went and I made connections. I stalked people. Stalked's a bad word, but I really did my research on who worked where, and I reached out to them. And I've gotten internships like the Wendy Williams Show, Sesame Street, which I was there for 2 years, and they wound up hiring me for a child talent assistant for one of the seasons. Amazing experience, great people. And The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. So, and The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, I may have these numbers wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 55,000 applicants for NBC per semester for these internships. And for me to get one of those positions was absolutely incredible, and I was blessed and honored. But I worked my butt off to go get that. Like the guy who, one of the campus to career people, recruiters, I woke up early on a morning because I saw a paper that he was going to be doing a speech at Pace University to a bunch of people who want to know about the business, who went to Pace and local colleges about communications. I went there and I shook his hand and I said, "Hi, I'm the girl who emailed you, whatever." He goes, "Just because you came and met me in person," because he gets a lot of emails, he goes, just wait. I was like, okay, and I wound up getting the internship. So make yourself available, go out there, meet people, don't be scared. Go do some stalking. It's not a negative way to stalk, but like a good way. Go do your research. Go follow people, see what they're up to. At the end of the day, it's a who you know business. I don't care what anybody says. It's a who you know business. Of course, talent comes into it, but you need to know people. Why would I trust somebody I don't even know with a good resume? But I would trust somebody that I know like the back of my hand with the same exact decent resume. Like obviously, I'm gonna choose the person that I know because I trust them already. I built the trust. So don't get caught up in the college lifestyle and Greek life and partying and stuff for comm majors. I'm not saying that it's all bad, but I'm saying if you want to excel in something, you need to put your 100% into it. That's for anything in life. You need to. So that's my advice for anybody in comm.
Yeah. That's all the questions I have for you today. That's great to hear that you're finally doing what you love, and that means hopefully like much more music in the future. So thank you so much for coming back. We really appreciated seeing you again. And yeah, this has been an interview with the Bolts.
I really hate this kind of deja vu.